Just interview Danny. Jeepers. Falcon Nation, welcome to another edition of Falcons Corner. Voice of the Falcons, Mike Rickert, the good guy to know, the co-host, Danny Berg. Not on camera number 2 today, but on microphone, the SID, Tom Ferguson.
Busy day.
Yes.
Busy day. We got to get it in.
Didn't
have time for hair and makeup for Tom.
So we do
So
what
we
we
took
have
him
to
off
do. And we
screen.
knew it was going to come to this point where we're going to get very, very busy. And, you know, we're at that point. It's almost October. We kept saying in our staff meetings, once we get to October, we got so much going on,
Right.
going on. We're close enough. We're knocking on the door to October. So, you know, things are getting a little hectic in athletics, but that is the way we like it. All, 1, 2, how many of us? 5 of us? We got it all under control.
We do. And there's no other way. I mean, we get things done.
Yep.
But you're right, it is busy. And then it seems that outside the sports world, all these other things are taking place too, with meetings for various things because everybody's back on campus, which really at the end of the day is pretty awesome.
Yep.
And
I see I'm distracted by your pants, and you're all dressed up today. So I know you have a big esports meeting later today.
I do.
So
I have 2 meetings today, so I got to fake it.
Yep.
We're not hiding out up here. Not to mention, yesterday I mentioned to Eric, I was freezing in my office for the first time in over a year and a half.
All right.
And I just sat there and I was like, oh my God.
Sure.
Not quite as bad as downstairs for you guys.
Right.
And poor Tom is like a meat locker in there.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, so here, we fake it.
Yeah.
We fake it.
And Tom's a trooper. He's going. He's just going to grind through the cold in his office. And I used to be in that office, so I know how it is. So.
In the
all you can
winter,
do.
In the winter, is it 1,000 degrees?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And there's a reason why there's always like a fan in that air conditioning unit, that little unit on the wall and stuff too. But let's get after it, because despite us being very busy, athletics last week was kind of slow. Some cancellations with weather. Football had a little quirk in their schedule where they played on Monday evening. So let's start off with football because 4 of us, not you, because you have your other duties, assigned by other school districts,
right.
that you have to take care of. But the 4 of us, myself, Tom, the boss, and Joe Paparelli, traveled up to West Point, New York yesterday to the United States Military Academy and Army.
Jealous. You got to be on post. Before we even talk about the game, extremely jealous, as I mentioned last week.
Yes.
There's something as soon as you get on campus and you drive through the ambiance of being there and seeing the cadets and being able to see them marching through.
And even
stuff.
more exciting than that, before the game, before we even got on the post,
lunch?
We had lunch, and I got the privilege to eat lunch sitting across from Joseph Paparelli.
Ooh, did he have a sandwich?
He had a beef
sandwich.
brisket sandwich and came with French fries, a pickle, and coleslaw, and we almost missed the start of the game.
He might still be eating it right now.
Yes. I think he eats as fast as he drives. So I was starting to get a little anxious.
Yeah, and you don't need any help getting anxious.
going. The 3 plates were empty, and then Joe was just going, taking his time with his fries. And
he's the real boss.
Yes.
We know that.
Yes. So it was funny. But it was a great game Monday evening.
Mikey Stadium,
Beautiful. Of course, I've been there a couple times, but never, of course, watched a game from the field.
Right.
But a great
you guys
battle
were on the field. That's awesome. Actually, I should have known that. I saw the clips.
Yeah.
That's what I was relying on.
Yes,
so.
yes. But a great job by our football guys, our staff, and all those kids to pull off a victory. And that was a quality opponent. You think Army JV, but realistically, you could think that Army itself 4-0 should be probably ranked in the top 25, but they're not. And then, I just got done talking to Coach June. It's like, whoever didn't play Saturday, whether they're a freshman, sophomore, junior, or senior, played yesterday.
Right.
So I know he was happy when I got to talk to him briefly this morning after the game. But great comeback, winning it basically at the buzzer.
Well, I mean, you think about it. It's a Division I school.
Yeah.
So you have Division I athletes, and it wasn't Army prep. It wasn't the prep school. It was the guys who maybe didn't play that weren't just 18 and 19 years old.
Yeah.
So that's huge. You have an entire team going up against all Division I athletes that are elite athletes to be at United States Military Academy. You can't beat that.
Yeah.
And to be down 11 and to come back and win, and then playing literally to the I know.
Right.
To the final whistle, horn, whatever you say. I mean, that was awesome. Those highlights were great. So I'll have to give credit to I'm thinking Tom was on the camera on
Tom
that.
was getting his work in last night.
That was my
the boss had it on camera too.
All right.
And I'm disappointed because when Colby came down with that touchdown pass, I was standing like right there in the corner of the end zone. And then Tom or the boss did not get me on camera.
I'm just glad you didn't get knocked over.
I got yelled at once by the official that I was too close to the field. But
That's awesome.
You really don't expect Army to throw the ball.
Right.
So they ended up having like a deep sideline route, and then I was out there waiting for them to run, and the referee was backing up. And I got out of his way. He's like, "Can you just back up?" I was like, "Yeah, sure."
Yeah, sure. I've been here.
But
I've been on CBS Sports Network. I know.
I know how it is. So it's, but so it was a good win for our guys. They were very excited. Very tough game. Army, very strong, physical team, tough to prepare for.
Right.
Because
you
don't really see that option too often. But they did good and got their stops when they needed to. And
that's awesome.
the offense was very dynamic.
Good.
Barry Brown throwing 5 touchdowns. Delvin Palmer, who had a fumble, first punt he received early on in the game. That cost them a little bit, but came back with 2 long touchdowns. Colin Russell doing his thing. Colby Young was just a stud out there at receiver. Huge, tall kid.
Big. I see a lot of
strong.
names with all the things that I have to do on the back end. But to see, I was like, oh man, he looked like a man amongst the boys.
And then we'll just keep rolling through the guys. Cam Sicati with, I think, like a 39-yard field goal, made it easily, made all his extra points. This has been thrusted into
awesome.
punting duty. He only had 1 punt yesterday, but it was from the back of the end zone. And got it out there, across the 40, help with that, field position.
Right.
And then defensively, Dwayne Grantham was all over the place. Brian Dallas was all over the place on the defensive line. All those defenders were, really, really
still
good.
excited.
It was.
You could tell.
It was good. The guys.
Awesome.
I'm happy for the players. Because they were excited. But
that.
For those of you that. If there's any, now I know we probably don't have a huge reach to the Division I Power 5 schools. However, if there's anyone out there that knows anyone that has any affiliation with Power 5 school, someone has to come and look at Dwayne Grantham because the kid is a stud. He is all over the place. He is physical. He plays really smart. He's an awesome kid, works his butt off. So I was, very happy for Dwayne. And right after the game, right before we kicked off with 2 seconds left to go, I snuck over to him and I gave him a little tap. And he looked up to me. He's like, "Hey, coach." I'm like, "You were pretty good today." And he laughed. And he's like, "Yeah, I was all right."
Yeah.
He was.
He appreciates it too.
He had a real good game.
So for all the Power 5 people that are watching this Emmy award-winning show, I mean,
Dwayne Grantham is
look him up or hit us up. Some of you know us.
Yeah,
we do have some connections just here in this little studio.
Yep, he is the real deal. And then the offensive line gave Barry enough protection to get off those long touchdown passes and stuff. So kudos to the football team. They are back to work with me in the weight room tomorrow as they get ready for their home opener Saturday. And Tom, I don't want to get the school wrong. We are playing
McDougall Technical Institute. MTI.
And they are out of Florida, I believe,
yes.
right? Making the big trip to Northeast PA.
You think they'll be, now it's going to be like cool on Saturday. You think that's going to, like if you're coming from Florida.
Hopefully it plays in our favor.
I mean, do you think they'd be coming out with like winter jackets and stuff?
They might be. I've seen those kids that come up here from Florida and the soccer players from the Caribbean. It hits 65 and they have beanies on.
Beanies on and stuff too.
And their jackets and stuff. However, you never know. I mean, it's Florida weather outside right now. It's pouring.
Yeah.
So
with some lightning and stuff too.
They've played snow this year. I don't know where they played them though.
Okay.
Right. So if they played them in Utah, then they might be used to it. Who knows?
Yeah,
who knows? But it might be warm out in Utah, like in September.
That's true.
But who knows?
You just see the snow caps from afar.
And stuff too. So, but we'll give them a big Northeast Pennsylvania welcome here on Saturday. So, if anyone out there, I know Penn State. I'm not a Penn State fan, but I know that they play late on Saturday. So if you are a true local Penn State fan, there are 2 already commits to Penn State football that you could come out and watch this Saturday as they play MTI. And then you don't have to worry about being like, "Oh yeah, I watched Jair and Jaquan. They went to Lackawanna. I see them 1,000 times play." No, you didn't, because you don't come to our games. So come to our games and watch JB and Tyrese play.
And there'll be even more, most likely.
Yes.
After the season, and then you can say, "Oh, I remember him."
Yes. So if you're a true Penn State fan, you should be at Scranton Memorial Stadium, 1 o'clock kickoff, Lackawanna College.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Perfect.
All right. What else we got to talk about?
I think maybe we should take a break.
All right.
And then we can come back and discuss
esports.
And then what we have going on this week.
Speaking of esports, Tom will be talking with our athlete of the week, who is
He's with Overwatch. Overwatch got their first win last week.
Okay.
And he was a big part of that.
All right, good.
So that's 2 in a row.
Yeah.
2 in a row. Esports Athletes of the Week, right?
Rolling.
Is it 2 in a row?
No, it's 2 out of the last 3.
Oh, 2 out of the last 3. I forgot about Sophia. I'm sorry to forget about you, Sophia. Please still think that our show is cute.
We might be on the list now.
I know. I just screwed it up.
We'll talk it over with her. Yeah.
All right.
We'll play. Soccer likes to play dodgeball at the end of their strength workouts.
Do they?
Yes. So maybe Sophia likes to play the dodgeball. So if she's upset with you, I'll sacrifice. And we'll play dodgeball for 15 minutes at the end of our workout and stuff too. But let's bring our athlete of the weekend. Tom is getting ready back there, for his interview, and we'll be back in the Falcons Corner. Take flight.
Imagine the innovator you could be tomorrow with an innovative education today from Lackawanna College. Our Level Up program puts high school students on an early college pathway for an easier college transition and faster degree attainment at a dramatically lower cost. That's why Fast Company named us one of the world's most innovative companies. With an education from Lackawanna College, imagine where you'll be tomorrow. This is life-changing. This is Lackawanna College.
We are back on the Falcons Corner. Voice of the Falcons, Mike Ruger. Good guy to know the co-host, Danny Berg, behind the camera today.
Right there.
But still on microphone, the SID, Tom Ferguson. Let's finish up the show by leading off with, does that make any sense? We're going to finish by leading off with.
Well, it's the last segment, so we're finishing it up, we're wrapping it up, but we're going to.
We create stuff. We create our own words and grammar and all that stuff. My wife is a reading specialist, so she'll watch it and correct me, and she'll you can't say that. That's not a proper sentence.
That's not English.
Yeah, that's not how I teach the first graders how to read.
Right, but it's still how we finish each other's sentences.
Yeah, so it works. So it's perfect. But we have a nice special event coming up here on Friday. An alumni game, that all the proceeds are going to benefit Jasmine Lewis, who was tragically murdered last year in Philadelphia as she was driving in her car. We're expecting a nice crowd here in the Student Union Gymnasium. And I know there's a link for donations and stuff like that. Tom, do we know that link, Tom?
It's on the website.
Okay.
It's a PayPal link that's on our website. And it's a suggested donation of $2, but it could be $5, $10, really whatever anybody wants.
All right, great.
And if you donate on that PayPal link, you get a link from us. That's the YouTube link to the stream.
To the stream.
Now, obviously, you don't have to watch the stream too. Right. You can donate on that link. We'll have QR codes around the gym where people can donate right from their phone as they're coming in, because it's open to the public. There's also going to be T-shirts for sale. With
basket raffles, I thought I saw too.
I don't know about that, but I do know. Whatchamacallit, concessions and all that as well.
Cheerleaders are running concessions.
Yeah.
I was in contact with Coach Ann. And just a great event, one, to bring the alumni back, and I think there were so many willing to do it because of the reason behind it. Yeah. That it's the first ever alumni game, and they're allowed to start practicing October 1st, so it's their kickoff to it, right? We used to have Midnight Madness, and then it was Afternoon Madness.
Right.
I think that there's so much more value in doing what they're doing, and Coach Joya did a great job at spearheading this effort to be able to raise funds. And I don't know for sure, but I know she was working on having some of Jazz's family members in attendance, and hopefully that's the case. But it's a great event, considering the circumstances, but the celebration of her life is something that they've done. And you still have 2 players on the current team that were teammates of Jazz's when they were here, when she was here her last semester.
That'll mean a lot to them. Yeah, so we're looking forward to that. So that is Friday night at 7 o'clock. And even more motivation to donate and get the YouTube link is that the SID, Tom Ferguson, and the boss, Eric Larson, are going to be on the call.
Are they?
And I think, spending a couple hours with them in the car yesterday, they're doing a lot of experimental stuff with different cameras and stuff too. So it may be very, very interesting.
Prep on the road.
Yeah, so it's going to be
prep work on the road.
So
you know what happens when the boss has too much time to think about things.
Yes, even when he has too much time, that doesn't have too much time to think about things, it all could be something. Well, your neighbors upstairs in offices, so we don't have to.
But we always pull it off.
Yep.
And there's no idea that's too big.
Yep.
My entire office is rearranged because of an idea he had. Worked out for the best.
Yep.
It feels like I have 6 feet instead of 3.
There you go. It's perfect, right? But that's Friday night, 7 o'clock here at the Student Union. So do your best to try to either get out here and watch our current Falcons and then our forever Falcons in a basketball matchup, or just make a donation and just catch a little.
That's what it's all about. Catch
YouTube.
Some action, see what the team's going to look like. But let's donate.
Yep. And then we do have volleyball kicking off their season this week, right? So they play.
So here's our rundown.
Go.
Volleyball. They are opening up tomorrow, which is tonight, if you're watching this, on Wednesday. Against Northampton Community College, 7 p.m.
Okay.
First match of the season. Coach Pete has done a great job of getting, and Coach Gabby of getting the
just
team
getting
together.
A roster together, because they started with zero. The
And,
cupboard was left dry.
Then they had one, and then they didn't, so it was like less than zero.
Yeah.
So they open up tomorrow against Northampton, and on Saturday they go to Harrisburg area. They go to Hack with a tri-match with Hack and Raritan Valley to kick off their season. Men's and women's soccer, both back in action. The women against Sussex today that we're filming on Tuesday in a little bit of the rain, but we're playing at Scranton Prep on the turf. Sussex, great team. Hopefully we'll be able to recap a W in conference, first conference game for the women. Thursday, the men picked up an away match at 3:30 at Manor College down in Jenkintown against Coach John Dempster, who's an old buddy of mine from my days of coaching. So we were able to add a match with them, which Coach Evans is excited about after their delay last week with the rain and having to sit around for a week. Then both men and women are back in action at Hagerstown Community College on Saturday.
Boy, a lot of road games. Who provides and finds all that transportation for those athletic teams?
I'm rethinking the whole scheduling of putting them on the road because of the transportation. You wouldn't think that the worldwide pandemic would have such a stamp on little old Scranton.
Yeah.
But it does.
But I want to give you also a big shout out, since you provide all the transportation. The vehicle that you got for us to travel to West Point, in honor, I guess, of us going to West Point, you got us a tank.
You did, yeah.
Yes,
I think
that thing was a monster. Right? Yes, it was a monster. So,
hey, well, again, Shane Gavrish down at Enterprise,
yes.
he hooked us up. He's taking care of us. He always does.
Yes, so I'm glad I didn't have to drive it.
Yeah,
we could have been in trouble.
I'm sorry I missed out on that.
Yeah,
the ride. It's comfortable.
Listen, we missed you. We talked about you the whole time.
Oh, I bet.
Yes, we talked about you the whole time. Yeah. So, and then of course, any esports action. The most
they're
popular Twitch.
Yeah, Twitch, and they're in action every night, and it's so hard because they have 5 different games going on. Is that right?
They right now have 4 teams in competition.
14, right?
But they might have more coming up. Who knows? I mean, Rocket League played Monday night, had a doubleheader, won one and lost one.
Right.
Overwatch plays their NACE competition on Mondays, and they play their NJCAA competitions on Fridays.
Right.
And League of Legends is tonight, which is Tuesday, and Valorant is on Thursday.
And the tough part about all that is 20 minutes beforehand, which isn't happen often, they can just say, "Oh, opposing school." Usually,
it's been a little tougher of a challenge. Rocket League's been pretty consistent, so is Overwatch. But League of Legends, they had a match on Tuesday. There was disputed ways on how it went down.
Okay,
I'm not sure exactly how that happened.
We had some,
and our poor Valorant team hasn't even gotten a chance to compete yet. They had their preseason match canceled, and then their opponent no-showed last week, and they got a forfeit win. So they even had to have a chance to actually compete yet.
Well, they'll get there.
But they got to win.
All I got to say is thank goodness for Tom, because we never would have gotten all that information.
No.
There's no way. And then again, most importantly, if you are a college football fan and want to see high-level college football, Saturday 1 o'clock. If you're a Penn State football fan, even more than Saturday at 1 o'clock.
Absolutely.
And if you can't make it out, even though we want to try to pack the stadium as much as we can, that game will be broadcasted on the LC Fan Network, play-by-play by the SID, touchdown Tom Ferguson, so we'll be very excited to...
Are you going to be there?
I am the voice of the Falcons, so I will be doing public address as always.
So with my other job,
yes,
I will also be playing in Scranton on Saturday.
Wow.
So I expect you to be loud enough.
I'll give you a shout out.
That I can hear you at Scranton Prep's Loyola Field.
I'll give you a shout out.
We start at 2. I will be there by 1:15. And I hope I can hear it.
I'll give you something. Don't you worry. Don't you worry. But that's a wrap. Another great week of Falcon Athletics. Even a better week, coming up.
Busy.
W's all over the place, I'm sure. And we'll recap it all next week on the Falcons Corner. For me, the voice of the Falcons, Mike Rickard, the co-host, Danny Berg, and the SID behind the camera, Tom Ferguson. We'll see you next week on the Falcons Corner. Take flight.